What's up, guys? What's up, fuckers? What's up, players? We are the well-mannered cartel. This is Super Liga Center. I'm Tom.
I'm Mike.
Marlon.
I'm Chris. And we're gonna get right into the recaps. Week 6. We're like, what is this? Like a third of the way through now?
We're almost halfway, man.
Almost halfway of the regular season. So yeah, dude, it's fucking flying by. We're gonna start right off with my matchup: Bad Hombres versus Tom's team, Las Vegas United. And Tom, you took it this year, man. You put it on me, 149 to 119. I thought I had you. I'm not gonna lie. When the fucking week started, I was like, I'm gonna bury this pussy. But no, hombre, dude. Your team showed up, bro. And
hombre, you lost by 30 points. Came out, get buried, pussy. The pussy went into you, bro.
Pussy, dude. The game in London. After that game was over, it was still kind of close. I know your receivers kind of went off in that London game, but I had the Carolina defense, and fucking Jameis Winston threw like 17 interceptions or something. Yeah. So my defense ended up scoring like 25 points or something, and that kind of kept me right in the game. But your receivers, dude, they showed up, right?
Yeah, I mean, Curtis Samuel put 24 points, 23.8 points up, and that's the most he's put up all year. DJ Moore, respectable 15.6. But I think that the deal breaker for me, what gave me the upper hand, was starting Carlos Hyde. He was kind of like the ace in the hole for me. I picked him up specifically because I thought he was going to go off on KC, and he did. He got me, 23 points. So, yeah, man, I mean, everyone played pretty well. Dalvin Cook he probably had his worst game of the year this in terms of fantasy this week. But, yeah, man, my players came out and they played okay.
Bro, if you would have told me that Kyler Murray was going to score 35 points, the Carolina defense was going to score 21 points, and that Dalvin Cook was only going to score 13 points, I would have been like, I'm going to win by 100, bro. I'm going to win by 100.
I think your two tandems kind of screwed you over there, man. The Rams tandem you had, the receivers, and then your Chargers running back tandem kind of, they faced some pretty tough defenses, and I think that's kind of where you got stuck.
I think the Chargers just suck. I mean, the Steelers defense is okay. I think the Chargers just suck. Dude, the fucking 49ers defense, the Rams played the 49ers, and that fucking defense is scary fucking good, dude. I thought they were, I'm not going to lie, when they were like 3-0, I was like, they're shit. They're not, they're not good. But no, dude, they're fucking for real. The Niners are fucking for real, man. And that's a good fucking squad. But yeah, Cooper Kupp only got me 5 points. He's been averaging about 20. Brandon Cooks got me 6. Eckler got me 5 points, and Melvin Gordon got me 8. So that's those two tandems really screwed me there. But yeah, 118 to 148. Salute to you, my man. You wanted this.
The better team won, bro. The better team won.
Not really.
Let's just leave it at that.
I'll give you credit. You did pick up Hyde. That was a sweet move because you knew the Texans were gonna run it on the Chiefs. The cat is out of the bag there.
And it was funny, man. Like I was torn between starting Hyde. Yeah, Galladay too. I traded for him. He went off. But I was contemplating starting McCole Hardman over Hyde in the flex. And the game started, and McCole Hardman started pretty good, man. And then fucking Hyde, first play of the game for the Texans, he fumbles it, and I was like, fuck. That's it, man. I'm done. But in by the second quarter, it was the right decision for sure.
It worked out for you for sure. All right, our next game, Culon Santo versus Over Easy, high scoring game, the highest scoring game I think of the week. 168 for Culon, 160 for Over Easy. Man, you want to talk about it, Marlon?
Well, I mean, my disappointments with Mike Evans, I guess he made up for it this week. Scored 21 points, but I was still disappointed with Tyler Boyd and Will Fuller, man. I kept on thinking that it was over. After their games, I was like, man, whatever. I don't even like this game. And then and then Austin Hooper put up 30 points for me. Scary Terry put up 31 points.
Ooh.
And Tim Brady came out to play. He only put 19, but it's still good enough to put me over the top.
Bro, if he wouldn't have rushed for 2 touchdowns, which has never happened in his life,
it would have been a shitty week.
He definitely would have been Tim.
Yeah.
It was those two rushing touchdowns. That's 12 points for him right there, man.
And
I think Haley got over easy got really unlucky, man. She had 2 key injuries in this game.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper went out really early, only scored her 1.3 points, and then Will Disley went out with his AC, popped his Achilles really early in that game. He scored her 0, and she was still able to score 160. So,
yeah.
Dude,
Diggs brought it. When I saw the kind of numbers that Diggs was putting up, I was like, it's over, man. Like, I'm not gonna win this match.
Diggs and Ryan went off for her and kept her in the fucking game because Ryan put up 43 points. And it was pretty much just Ryan and Diggs that and Mark Ingram did respectable, but it was Ryan and Diggs that really kept it close. Dude, you recently traded a tight end, right, Marlon? You recently you decided to keep Hooper.
Yeah, man.
And you traded fucking Zach Ertz, right?
Yeah, I traded Zach Ertz. Ertz wasn't putting up the number. Ertz had the squirts all year long, man. Like he wasn't putting up the numbers that he did.
Yeah.
Tom today was like, "Hey man, you traded me Zach Squirts," and I was like,
Yeah,
for sure,
"That's
man.
a good one."
I traded for Ertz, and I had Kelsey at the time, and I was gonna run with one of them in the flex, and then fucking Sterling Shepard went down, and so I had to deal Kelsey away. But I ended up with Galladay and Kenny G's performing. So, anyways,
but at least through 1 week, it looks like you kept the right tight end, Marlon. It looks like you kept the right tight end.
Dude,
well, I was trying to keep both Hooper and Calvin Ridley in play to sort of neutralize Matt Ryan, because I knew that he was going to try and pass the ball a lot. And out of the 3 main targets on that team, I had 2 of them. So in an effort to neutralize that, I ended up taking him out because I thought that Tyler Boyd was going to have a bigger game, which he didn't. But still, Hooper had a monster game, dude. So
fucking game.
Yeah, man. I mean, Matt Ryan doesn't have the time to throw downfield, so he's just hitting Hooper a lot. He's going through him a lot, so he's performing.
Yeah, I think he's going to keep it up for sure for the rest of the season. So good job on that, Marlon. Next game, the Lady Boys.
Bye.
Oh, they're bye. You're gonna be fucked on their bye for sure. The next game, the Lady Boys versus Dem Wyans with a double.
Another dub. Another George W.
117 to 157. Actually, not a high scoring game that's actually a low scoring game for Dem Lions.
That's a high scoring game for anybody else.
300 points.
He scored half as many points as he did last week, bro. So disappointing performance for the Lions. But Lamar the bed shitter of the week. Lamar Jackson actually put up respectable numbers for Bangkok Lady Boys. 45 from your quarterback is nothing to fucking scoff at, but he was just overmatched, man.
Yeah.
Godwin went off for 40 points. Kittle had 24. McCaffrey 21. Decent performance. Thielen had 17. There's just too much firepower on that team for the Lady Boys, and who didn't see that one coming, right? At least he kept it within 100 points, so he covered the spread.
So I think that leaves Lady Boys at 1-5 on the year. But I look at his roster, and I think we didn't talk about this trade last week. Lady Boys traded Aston TDs, and Lady Boys received Lamar Jackson and who else did he receive in that trade? Lamar Jackson and Le'Veon Bell.
Bell.
I think those 2 acquisitions are really going to help his team moving forward. Especially Le'Veon Bell, I think he has the easier side of his schedule to come up. So I think Lady Boys, if there's out of the 1-5 teams that are in the league, I think Lady Boys has the better roster, and I think that he can actually score points to get him back to where he needs to be within striking distance of the playoffs.
Yeah,
right.
Lady Boys, I look at his roster, I think it's pretty good.
It's pretty decent, man. Yeah, after that trade, it makes it having Lamar Jackson. That's the X factor. He could go off for 40 points any fucking week, and just having a guy like that dynamic at the quarterback position in your roster. You can always you never know when he's going to go off and you can surprise people for sure. Let's see the next game, Crossfaded versus Flint Tropics. Crossfaded 151, Flint Tropics 126. What's Flint Tropics record now? Because is that 2 in a row now that he's lost?
4-1-1.
4-1-1.
Oh, it's 4-1-1.
This is his first loss.
Oh, this is his first loss. Okay,
yeah,
wow. Okay, so no more undefeated teams. He tied it with Mike.
That's his first loss, but he's still number 1 in the standings in the league.
Got it. So Crossfaded, who put up numbers for Crossfaded? Let's see. Crossfaded 150. Let me open it up here. Dak Prescott. No, that's for the Lady Boys. Deshaun Watson, 29 points. Odell Beckham Jr. woke up and fucking got 23 points for him. Ezekiel Elliott got 31, and
Devonta Freeman
26. So yeah,
Freeman actually came out to play, bro. I mean, I thought he was, he's been MIA all year.
He has. And when you get 15 from your kicker, Sly with 15 fucking points, that helps.
Oh, look at that dude's year so far. He's been putting up 15 consistently. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's wild, dude.
A lot of field
dude.
Goals.
Greg the leg who, bro, fucking Sly. It's because he plays for the Panthers. Let's see. Yeah, dude, you're right. 12, 16, 8, 13, 4, 15. Yeah, I mean, getting in the teens is not really a big deal for him. It's just he kind of does that. So Joey Sly, legit fucking kicker. What good pickup, because I'm sure he didn't draft his ass. So that was a good pickup. Let's see the next game. Defensor Fortis 108 and the Gridiron Throne 163. Mike, you want to talk about that game?
Yeah, I routed the returning champ, so I feel pretty good about that. He was
a little bit.
He was originally projected to beat me by I think about 11 points or something like that, and his team underperformed. I think this is like the second week in a row that his team underperforms.
Patty Mahomes, man. Patty Mahomes had a 25-point game or something.
He's living or dying by the Chiefs. So, and right now they're on a little bit of a cold streak. But I feel really good about my team at this point, dude. I have Russell Wilson, who seems like he's the MVP at this point in the season. I have Chris Carson, who's just putting up monster numbers for a running back. And also Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is also putting up big numbers for a running back.
Question. How do you feel about Kareem Hunt when he comes back? Do you think that's going to affect him?
I'm a little bit worried about that, but what I think I may end up doing is moving Chris Carson into the running back position and putting Nick Chubb as my flex, depending on how things go. But I also have some pretty good receivers, man. I had receivers on a bye. I had Allen Robinson and T.Y. on a bye this week. So I think going forward, I have 3 really strong receivers. I got Tyreek Hill back, and he put up a game.
That's legit that you got Tyreek Hill back, because he put up 28 points in his first fucking game back. Yeah. So you're now looking at your squad now with Tyreek Hill back. It looks pretty legit. I don't think Kareem Hunt is going to affect Nick Chubb that much. I think he's going to take some snaps away, but dude, Nick Chubb has been performing for that team. Like, he really has been doing well for them. So it would be kind of stupid.
He's like the MVP of that team right now.
Yeah, it'd be stupid. We're over here assuming that the fucking Cleveland Browns coaching staff knows what the fuck they're doing, right? And that they're going to use common sense, which we can't really rely on that. But if they had any fucking sense, they would keep Chubb in there, because he's been, like you said, he's been their MVP on offense, which is crazy. Like, you have Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield, these bigger names, but Nick fucking Chubb is the MVP of that offense right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Sweet, man. And then last game, the fucking pillow fight, ass and titties versus Vino Poppies. The fucking Delfino Poppies no more. The freaking, now they're the Vino Skins, or the Red Poppies. We got one win.
So the loser of this game was going to get no talent pussy regardless, man. Like, this was the lowest scoring game by far. Dem Lions, man, he shits those teams for breakfast.
Those teams.
But it's kind of cool to see a win on Vino Poppy's record now. But
he was so excited, right? He was so excited.
He scored 106 points. I mean,
he would
have lost to any other team in any other game. So there's that. But hey, you got the W.
He sent me a text. He sent me a text before the Pittsburgh Sunday Night Football game, and I was like, man, should I put Pittsburgh in, or should I pick up the Detroit defense? And I was, at that point, I was like, it's not really likely that he's going to win either way. So I was like, well, I would probably go with Pittsburgh, but I think I gave him some last year.
He texted me the same thing, and I told him to go with Detroit. But it worked out for him. He went with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. He pulled off that win.
Very disappointing performance for Ass and TDs. Again, we can highlight that trade. He actually let go of Lamar Jackson. He gave him to the Lady Boys. And, he's riding on Rodgers now. And Rodgers isn't this year performing like a top, fantasy quarterback. Yeah. And that might hurt him a little bit. He got David Johnson, who's been showing some signs of injury. He didn't practice this week. There was a question mark if he was going to play last week.
He still put up 28 points.
Yeah, for sure. But I just like if you're going to rely on him to be your number one back, I don't know. I don't know how I would feel personally about having David Johnson relying on him just because he does have an injury history. And I don't know, man. That might come back to bite Asantidis in the butt, man. Because no, that trade didn't.
Shit, he's got 3 quarterbacks on his roster right now.
Yeah, he don't give a fuck. Yeah, he got Robert Woods back in that trade, and I would rank Robert Woods as 3rd in that receiving core. And maybe last year you could get away with starting Robert Woods as a week by week starter, but this year that offense has just been sputtering. So the Rams offense is just not nearly as good as it was last season, and so now Robert Woods is not really a lock as far as a starting caliber wide receiver this year as much as he was last year.
They're calling for Bortles to be the starting quarterback at this point. You don't want to be the number 3 option on that team right now.
Yeah, man. So. Dude, and Goff just got paid, right? Goff just got fucking paid.
He just got paid, yeah.
I wonder if they're regretting it right now.
They might be, man. I don't. Yeah, they might be. Yeah. But yeah, that's a conversation for another time. Let's see. You want to get into the standings real quick? That was the last game of the recaps. Tom, you want to go over the standings?
Yeah, for sure. The Earth division. Dem Lions taking the number 1 spot in that division. He's 4-2 now. He's put up 1,134 points this year.
So everybody else is pretty much like 2 games behind him.
Yeah, for sure. His team looks nasty. However, he does have 2 big buys this week. He has Godwin and he has McCaffrey on bye this week. And I think Marlon's actually playing him. We'll get back, we'll get into that whenever we go over, next week's matchups. But, he might, we'll see if he sputters a little bit. And the number 2 spot in the Earth division, Defensor Fortis, 4-2, 789 points. He's back-to-back losses. And we'll see if he can bounce back in week 3. Number 3 in that division, Las Vegas United, yours truly, 801 points. That's 2 wins back-to-back for me. Hopefully I can keep going moving forward. Vino Poppies, like we said, got his first win. He has 702 points on the year. So that's the Earth division. Looking a lot closer now, man. You have Defensive Fortis, Dem Lions, both 4-2, and I'm 1 game behind him at 3-3. So we'll see if that changes.
Yeah.
The Win division, Asantidis, 4-2, 844 points, followed by Crossfaded, who's 3-3 now, 842 points. Over Easy, 2-4. Bad Hombres, 2-4. So again, that's probably the most competitive
division.
Yeah, especially since after that trade, Asantidis might be a little weaker than they've been, and they're leading that division at the moment at 4-2. But we're everybody's right there. You're not out of it yet, you know. So it's
Bad Hombres and Over Easy are 2 games back. Asantidis 4-2, like we said, if he sputters a little bit, then you guys can get right back in. I think that one's going to be crazy going down the stretch. We'll see how that one goes.
Yeah, and Haley has a Saquon coming back probably this week.
Yeah. And if you look at like our points scored, we're all really close. Like the teams seem to be evenly matched. Over Easy is actually the leading scorer in the division by like 50 points throughout the season, but she's at 2-4. So it's just matchup wise. I think it's going to come down to the last week or 2 of the season, since we all get to play each other again within the division. Yeah. And it's gonna get intense for sure.
And I'm really kind of excited to see y'all's division kind of play out. It's like you said, everything's close. 844, 842, 895, 833, all on points. So everyone's, right there within striking distance of one another. And finally, the Fire division, Flint Tropics, 4-1-1. He leads the division. He leads the league. He's the number 1 seed currently, 988 points. The Gridiron Throne, Mike, 4-1-1, also same record, 2nd seed. 913.86. Culon Santo is number 3 in that division. He's 3-3 now, 874.94. And finally, the Bangkok Ladyboys sitting at 1-5, 791.80 points.
Yeah.
Gnarly, bro. All right, that's the standings. Now let's get into our topics, our segments.
Hold on, let's take a look at
I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun.
No, you're good.
New segment.
Yeah, now that it's mid-year, it's kind of fun to see kind of like the playoff scenario right now. So if it were to start today, currently the 2 buys is the number 1 seed is the Flint Tropics, the number 2 seed is Mike Gridiron Throne. So you guys would have first round buys straight to the semis, and then the 3rd seed versus the 6th seed would be Dem Lions versus Fulon Santos. So Marlon, I'm sorry, you'd also be in the playoffs, and then it'd be 5 versus the 4 seed in Defensor Fortis and Ass and TDs. So still very far away from the playoffs, but if it were to start today, it's kind of interesting to take a look at that. Right now, it's all up in the air, but it's interesting to kind of just see, where we're headed.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. That's legit, dude. Marlon, you'd be playing them Lions in the first week. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, so I'm playing them this week, so.
Oh, preview.
Preview.
All right, now it's time. Now it's time for our favorite segment of the entire podcast. Hit them with it, guys.
Who the
fuck is that
guy? But you gotta say it like him, though. You gotta say Fook.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? All right. Who the fuck is that guy this week? Jaron Brown. Jaron Brown, wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks. 3 catches, 29 yards, 2 touchdowns, 17.9 points. Dude, I don't think Jaron Brown's grandmother started him on her fucking fantasy team, dude. This dude, he's been in the league for a while. He's like 29 years old. So it's not like he's a rookie. I've never heard his fucking name before. Did you guys know who the fuck Jaron Brown was?
No.
This is the first I hear of him, like right now.
I had to Google him.
This is the first I had to Google him. So look, listen.
He's not even on the Yahoo app, bro. That's crazy.
Right. Not even on the Yahoo app. It's just like a question mark. But speaking of the Yahoo app, I was going to go with Robbie Anderson, right? Because he had 30 points, but we all know who the fuck Robbie Anderson is. Yeah. Robbie Anderson is the guy with the craziest fucking picture on Yahoo, dude.
I asked Tom if he knew who if he's ever watched Don't Be a Menace to Society, that Wayans Brothers movie. He looks like Marlon Wayans in that movie.
Anderson is the guy with the craziest fucking profile picture on Yahoo. This dude, what if this guy showed up and picked up your daughter to go on a date? What you doing, bro?
Of course, man.
What you doing?
Why wouldn't
That's crazy. It says no pain. He has a tattoo that says no pain, no gain on his fucking neck. That guy doesn't give a fuck.
That guy means business, bro.
Dude.
I respect
Robbie fucking Anderson, bro. Almost who the fuck is that guy? But how do you forget that face? You know exactly who the fuck he is. All right, our next segment.
I picked him up off of waivers.
Did? Nah, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's gonna score a 92-yard fucking touchdown every goddamn week.
I'm not depending on that, but I think he'll be okay with Sam Darnold, and their schedule gets a lot easier.
Yeah, it does.
So I think Anderson's a pretty good pick.
I'm not going to say this as a Cowboys fan, but the Jets aren't as shitty as we thought they were. I mean, they can actually move the ball now. They only had 2 touchdowns all season, offensive touchdowns all season. And they fucking 2 touchdowns in one game, bro.
Yeah. They're going to ride the wings of Mr. Spleen, bro.
Mr. Spleen.
Mr. Spleen.
Yeah.
Did you see his little apparatus?
Mr. Mono?
His thing that he had? His armor?
I want one. It's so nice. It's so nice.
The guy came out looking like Batman in Batman versus Superman.
Oh, with a broken back. All right. The squander this week. The squander, obviously, we're going to go with ass and titties, okay? He could have started Duke Johnson. Yeah. You knew that they were going to run the ball. I know he's a second, plays second fiddle to Hyde, but still, he could have started Duke Johnson. Instead, he starts Chris Thompson against the Dolphins. Chris Thompson had a favorable matchup, but I think Chris Thompson got hurt and left that game early.
Yeah,
and
he's always hurt.
Yeah, he's always hurt. If he would have started Johnson, he would have won the game, and he did. So for that, he is the squanderer of the fucking week.
I think anytime a 4-1 team loses to an 0-5 team, you're gonna earn the title.
Great observation, Mike. Great observation. I didn't even think about that. You're right. He's a 2-time fucking squanderer. Then in that case,
there's the added layer of the shame. The added layer.
He's the squanderer. You know what I mean? You got to add some in there, man.
He squandered the fuck out of that game.
He did. All right. Bad shitter of the week. I'm gonna nominate fucking Jared Goff, dude. Jared Goff, 13 of 24. 78 yards passing, 78 yards, no touchdowns, the most disrespectful fucking point line, 0.12 points. Bro, get a 0 or get negative, bro. Don't get 0.12 fucking points.
Fucking pick. That's the case.
Fucking
no respect, dude.
Who you trying to impress? Who you're trying to impress?
Underachiever. You fucking underachiever.
God damn, dude. I wanted to give it to fucking Jameis Winston because he threw, I think he threw 6 interceptions or some shit.
He recovered, man. He recovered. I was looking at that and it went into -5 for a bit, and I was like, damn, I'm glad I didn't start him.
Dude, he threw 5 interceptions and lost 1 fumble. That's what it was. So 6 turnovers that he accounts for, but he still ended up scoring 30 points somehow. It was like 28 or something. Yeah. Fucking fantasy, dude. It doesn't make no goddamn sense. Jameis Winston, 28 points. Anyway, all right. Our no talent pussy of the week, ass and titties. Dude, you can't lose to fucking Vino Poppies. You can't be 4-1 and then go 4-2 against a fucking no-win team and only put up 103 points.
It was a no talent pussy, but at least he listened.
You're the no talent goddamn pussy of the week.
Bro, you can't lose to Vino Poppies when Vino Poppies scores 106 points.
Right. Unbelievable. So, no talent pussy of the week, ass and titties. And now to our saddest segment. We're going to start pouring them out. We got to pour them out. We've already brought them up before. Will Dissly, torn Achilles. 2 years in a row that he has season-ending injury. I think he tore his MCL last season.
Yeah.
Came back from that. Tore his Achilles this season. But you know what? When he came back from that MCL tear this year,
he tore his chilaquiles.
His chilaquiles. He tore it up. So I have faith, dude. Even though the Achilles is hard to come back from, I think he can fucking do it. And I hope I hope he's there next season, and I'll fucking grab him on my team because I'm probably gonna need him so I don't get fucking relegated. So Will Dissly, pour one out for him. We're also gonna pour one out for the Lions, the actual Lions, not dem Lions. The Lions getting boned twice by the goddamn refs.
They got fucked, man. They got fucked.
Gifting the Green Bay Packers a goddamn win. Unbelievable. You guys, what do you think about the Lions just getting crazy calls, man? Crazy penalties.
They called 2 hands to the face, and there was never occurred ever. And then that pass interference that shouldn't have been a pass interference. Yeah, definitely gifted the game to the Packers. I think you could say, man, they had their chances, but no, man, it was totally gifted to the Packers. The Lions played as well as you could have expected them to at Lambeau, and it was unfortunate the game went down that way. Fuck that shit, dude. God damn.
Do you think it was malicious, or do you think everybody's just paranoid with the no call from
dude, I don't know.
Terrible no call.
It's hard.
They're just like, oh, foul, even if it's close enough.
refs make mistakes, but when you make that many mistakes in one game, you have to question it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's tough, man. They got to fix that shit, bro. There's too much goddamn technology out there. They got to fix it somehow. I don't know how they would do it. Last one.
Cyborg refs, bro. That's how we do it.
Cyborg refs, bro. That's what we need. The last one that we're going to pour it out for is the Cowboys fan base, bro. We started off so well. 3-0. Lose 3 in a row. We're 3-3. But listen, there's still some hope out there, Marlon. Listen to me, Marlon. Don't listen to these 2 fuckers. Listen to me, bro. We're still in first place in the division, dude. We're still in first place. And when we have our backs against the wall, we fucking come through, bro. We did it last year against the Saints. We beat the fucking Eagles. Yeah. Doug Peterson's over there running his goddamn mouth, dude. Yeah. He's running his goddamn mouth, guaranteeing a win this weekend. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Cowboys pull it out. I think we'll still be fucking first place. And I think
I'm gonna choose not to pour one out for this segment.
People forget we were 3-5 last fucking year. People fucking forget we were 3-5 and make the playoffs and won a fucking playoff game, bro. People fucking forget. Fuck you, Tom. Get that fucking face.
So much anger.
I'll pour one out, dude. I don't have the hate. I don't have the hate that Mike has.
All right, I won't be.
I think y'all can beat the Eagles. We'll see. That's all I'm saying. We'll see.
Hey, bro, and let's not pretend the Eagles are fucking doing great right now either. All right, they're fucking mediocre too.
They're not. But guess what? The Jets aren't doing very well either, huh?
Hey, bro. The spleen, dude. I'm not like that, dude.
Spleen. Blame it on the spleen.
He tore us up. He tore us up.
It was that armor, bro.
It was that armor.
Injecting him with like steroids or something.
Speaking of steroids, the big cock on the block this week. The big cock.
I don't know what sound that was. That was
the big cock on the block. Fucking Marlon, 168 points, dude. Not gonna, that's kind of a little. I'll do it. He's clucking on him. Kind of.
Sunday night. Sunday night and all day Monday, I was so excited because I was like, man, I'm gonna repeat as a big cock on the block. I'm gonna get my second. I'm gonna get it, and then Marlon inches me out there.
Just under cabrón. He's a grower, not a shower. You didn't know.
You just inched me out there.
All right, let's get into next week's games. Let's run through them real quick. Who wants to do the honors? Anybody?
Sure, I can get into them. So it's Vino Boppies versus Gridiron Throne. Mike coming off a great performance. Jose coming off his first win at only 107 points. But we'll see if he can maintain some sort of momentum into this next week. Lady Boys versus Crossfaded. That should be a good one. The Flint Tropics versus Aston TDs, two of the higher ranking teams in the league. Bad Hombres Chris versus Defensor Fortis, who's lost 2 straight. Chris, you lost 1. So I think you.
No, did I lose 2? I'm on a 2. I've lost 2 also, bro. Somebody's got to break the streak. We both lost 2 in a row. We're both fucking sliding. So
yeah. I think both of you guys, like if he loses, he drops down to probably 3rd in the division. If you lose, you're going to stay. You need to gain some traction in that division that's so close and so tight.
It is.
Then we have Dem Lions versus Fulon Santo. That's a big one. That can go either way. I know Dem Lions has 2 key players out, but he's stacked, dude. So he can still put up numbers. And then I see Marlon.
Who's out for him?
Godwin
McCaffrey.
and McCaffrey.
Oh, bastardo, bro! You're gonna catch him, bro.
If there's a week when this might happen, it's this week.
It's right now.
Upset alert!
Hey, he's lost 2 games, guys. He's beatable. He's very beatable. He's lost 2 games. Let's stop giving him all this credit like he's the fucking Patriots or something. He's lost 2 games.
That's
and
true.
Then finally, we have Over Easy versus yours truly, Las Vegas. That's me versus my wife. It's been pretty hostile household. She doesn't want to talk to me sometimes. She's looking at me. She's got that stink eye.
Are you gonna get dinner at all this week?
She's not here, so I can talk all the shit that I want.
She's still giving me the stink eye. I can't. She hasn't broken that glare.
Yeah, I can see her reflection in the cabinet.
See it bouncing off of your forehead, man. That's glare.
Yeah. She's performed pretty well without Saquon, and Saquon's coming back this week, so it's gonna be tough for me to pull out the W in that one. Her team's still pretty terrifying. She needs a new tight end. Obviously, Disley went down, but we'll see. We'll see
what happens, dude. But yeah, I think that's it, right? Anything else? Anybody else want to fucking cover?
No, man. Another good week of fantasy.
You're still looking at me.
Shoot.
It's crazy.
Go. All right. Well, on that note, adios, motherfuckers. We'll see y'all next week.
Keep chasing your wet dreams. Good luck.
Always.